and welcome back, fellow witches. Today is all about the nurturing breast milk. We're going to be focusing on natural remedies that help your breast milk supply, as well as give it all of the wonderful nutrients that you want to give to your wee one. Now let's start with coconut date bazungas. These are wonderful treats for you, as well as the new lactating people in your life. Breast milk naturally has lauric and capric acid, which is what we're going to get from our coconut that we add. We're also going to be using fennel for the breast milk supply. This is also wonderful in that mother's tea that we're going to make a little bit later on. We're also going to add, of course, delicious medjool dates. These are going to give you your caramel sweet base. These ones are so good, so fresh. And lastly, we're going to add the wonderful ancient grain of quinoa. Now, not only are these going to give you lots of nutrients, they're also going to give that wonderful, savory, nutty, delicious crunch that you want for your treats. And with all of our ingredients set in front of us, let's get started. You're going to want to begin with 1/3 cup of peeled raw almonds that you have soaked overnight. Then you're going to add 3 of their dates. Make sure you pit these before you add them into the food processor. Next, throw in 1/3 cup of shredded coconut, 1 tablespoon of coconut oil, and I like to use my hands because afterwards it makes a lovely hand moisturizer. Next, you're going to want to add 1/4 teaspoon of fennel. You don't need a lot of fennel seeds to help with your breast milk supply. And lastly, you're going to want to add 1 pinch of salt. We're going to throw on the top of our food processor. You're going to just want to pulse lightly to a point where you just have to pinch it and it will stick together. Perfect. Now, if yours doesn't quite hold together like a nice bazunga would, all you have to do is add in a few more dates. Add in as many as you want. It's not going to make that big of a difference. And once you're done and you have the consistency that you want, go ahead and set this aside and we're going to go toast some quinoa. Go ahead and pour your quinoa into the pan. Spread it around a bit. And you're going to toast it by listening for it to pop. And you'll start to smell that it smells quite nutty as well. Now that you are done toasting your quinoa, come on back to your coconut date mixture, and you're gonna pull out about a tablespoon-sized amount. Take your toasted quinoa and just roll those bazungas all around. Get them nice and toasty, and then set them aside. In order to make mother's milk tea, it's quite simple. You need 1/2 teaspoon of fenugreek, as well as 1/2 teaspoon of fennel. You're going to boil that in 2 quarts of water and do that for about 10 minutes. And then strain out the fenugreek and the fennel and then set that aside as a wonderful tea for those lactating people. I'm going to go ahead and clean up here, and when we come back, I'll be answering your questions over at the Community Corner.
Do you want to own your sacred power and unleash the Goddess within? Connect with your body wisdom in my new series, Guiding the Goddess Within. Yoga has the power to open you to divine energies, helping you to come into greater contact with your inner voice, enhancing the flow of self-acceptance and nourishing your physical and spiritual body.
Guiding the Goddess Within, Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern, here on the Peakatrix Network.
Welcome back, and now it's time for Community Corner, where I answer all your questions and take recipe requests for future episodes. This week we have a video from a community member.
And I hate to say it, but you, madame, are a fraud. How can you keep doing these shows week after week describing these homeopathic remedies and poisons? Do you not know that naturopathy and midwifery are the tenements of poison, deluding the erstwhile scientific minds of our youth, telling them that by crushing an herb and putting it in an alcohol suspension will bring them life and virility? I mean, this is all hogwash. It should be in the past with astrology and alchemy. How can you expect us to raise scientifically literate youth when you're spouting off this nonsense? I do love your kitchen though. Might you consider a segment on kitchen design? I think that seems a little bit more worthwhile for a woman. Leave the medicine to the doctors and the men.
Thank you for your comments, Greg. With respect, I disagree. As a modern herbal witch, I find my foremothers in village herbalists, midwives, healers, wise women, and cunning folk who performed these very tasks and services in their communities. Today, many naturopaths and midwives work right alongside Western doctors and bring their ancient methods and knowledge to complement Western medicine. Many old wives' tales have basis in science. For example, honey really does suppress coughing. Likewise, plants have been used since ancient times for medicine. Ginkgo, long used by the Chinese healers, has been recently scientifically proven to improve cognitive function and enhance motivation. We all need a little bit of that. From personal experience, I used moxibustion, a technique used in acupuncture to help turn my breached baby. My purpose with this show is to share the knowledge of ancient healers, herbalists, and wise women, sometimes called witches, with the modern world and with viewers like you. That's it. Join me next week as we focus on chamomile and all of its wonderful uses.